Radiance, you can actually do a lot of damage. And in that sense, almost the Naga ban wasn't even maybe worth it for that reason alone. Of course, Naga is still very, very annoying. It's not something you particularly want to deal with if you don't have to, if you're any team, honestly. But yeah, I'm expecting, as you mentioned, Dusa could be an option. Spectre could be an option. Is Slark banned? Slark is very good here as well.
Yeah.
Because it's good against the Brewmaster. You can't really target him. Weaver, okay, they're gonna go with Weaver. Not my favorite choice. I am not the biggest fan of Weaver, but it does fill that role of like we want to put a hard carry in this lineup.
Yeah, I'm with you. I mean, Weaver's I'm always so mixed on Weaver. You know, every time I feel like I have a solid opinion on Weaver at this level, I see someone either really underperform or really overperform, and it makes me reevaluate. The thing about a Weaver is, if a Weaver gets out of control, gets a bunch of kills early, he can really just dominate. We've seen that a number of times in D2L play East and West already. But he's a known quantity. He has to get a certain amount of farm. He has to take a lot of time to do his own thing. And behind that, with Avenge Puck, Witch Doctor, and Jakiro, there's just no way that four-man squad is going to effectively fight into a Brew, an Elder Titan, and a Morphling if he decides to show up earlier rather than later. So for Tinker, their ability on Clockwork, I really like that. Excellent against the Weaver. Can force out an early time lapse if you manage to catch him out early, or manage to catch him in the beginning of a fight. But I feel like Tinker is really going to be hard pressed to make sure they execute at all phases like that. I don't feel like they have a whole lot of comeback mechanic to them. I feel like they have to not necessarily snowball, but everyone has to be doing their job, and they can't do what they did in Game 2, which is just not move well. Game 2, positioning, movement, decision-making was all kind of lacking, and it was Sna that was able to capitalize on that, and I think that's going to go twofold here in this game as well, especially when you have a Morphling versus Weaver matchup if you do go into the Ultra late and you're talking 1 versus 1. And I'm not sure who I would even prefer there. I just know I like Morphling late in general more than Weaver in terms of just what he gives you across the board.
Yeah, I know why they picked Weaver. It's because outside of the Clockwork pick, they have no lockdown, like no real lockdown for the Weaver. And Weaver typically against those kind of lineups just does very well. Like Lich has absolutely no lockdown whatsoever. Easy to kill with Weaver. Elder Titan kind of with the Stomp, but it's not very easy to hit on an elusive target like Weaver. Morphling doesn't really have anything. You have the Boulder from Brax. That's about it. So in that sense, the Weaver pick does make sense. I just don't think that, just me personally, I'm not the biggest fan of the hero. It could still very much work here though, against NYX's lineup just because of the lack of lockdown. But the clock does help that a little bit. If Weaver's not moving around constantly, then if you use the time lapse, you'll actually pop right back into the cogs. So he has to be careful about that.
Yeah, I really like that Tinker is going aggressive with this. Looks like a little bit of lag is we'll let them pause and sort that out. But I do like that they're going aggressive in this situation. Anticipating the duo mid gives them a chance to abuse this off lane. I like Jakiro in an aggressive lane basically every time. And are they wanting to swap servers? Surely not.
You know it better than the baseball thing when the runner keeps going back and forth and back and forth.
Oh, the rundown?
Yeah. Is that what it's called? I don't even know.
Yeah, whenever you get caught between bases.
Sure. Yeah, that's exactly what happened.
Getting caught in a rundown. I like this look out of Tinker running Bulba. I mean, the double damage helps, but just starting him out here in mid and not letting TC just have his way to begin with.
Yep. But that did definitely favor NYX Mike because Pycat missed a couple CS as a result. Mike is up to even CS. Oh, he tries to get the cogs when he's Sakuchis and not able to get it. Nice idea. But at the very least, these level 1 Sakuchis are not effective from Weaver. Like, it does crappy damage. It does the same. It costs the same amount of mana from level 1 as it does for level 4. So that's kind of a small win there for NYX Mike. So
we can see Tinker continuing to be very effective up here at top. EGM staying back and farming safely while his two supports play right in their face, mess up the pools, and so on and so forth. Has left a Rise now, alone here in mid again. He's going to, hope for a better start. It wasn't horrendous in Game 2, but certainly nowhere near where he wants to be. I mean, he was doubled up by the Morphling and CS by about 6-7 minutes in, and Never really had a chance to come up or catch up. Had a very late blink. 2-minute rune does spawn. It is Bulba grabbing himself a haste, and the Clockwork gets himself a bounty. And let's see. Yep, there's going to be the cast as Bulba comes in just to be disruptive and give Arise a little bit more space. Down at bottom, Pycat and Mike playing right in each other's face. Mike's got 8 CS, actually, and he's looking quite good. I mean, it's not quite as much as the 11 of Pycat, but that's got a very nice start for a clock. And up atop, Brax is very low. Are they going to be able to catch him? Yeah, there's a cast. It's not going to get any bounces. They are going to be able to clean him up, though, and Bulba gets the first blood. So Brax playing a little too cavalier with his health, got caught and got punished.
Yep, nice job by Team Tinker. And able to make use of this very aggressive tri-lane. At the very least, Brax is going to get some CS here, get level 3. They really need level 2 on Whitebeard, like really, really badly. He's actually getting hit by the slow creep there. But once he gets to the stomp, it's a lot harder to actually dive heroes like Brax in this lane, so he needs that. I'm wondering why he's not trying to lead some experience. He actually gets the pole off, but he's taking a lot of damage from the casks and the neutral creeps. Not even sure if this pole will connect. It barely gets... Okay, it gets 2 creeps, 3 creeps actually. But he really needs level 2 up here.
And this top lane continues to be a mess. Down at bottom, Pycat still farming well. 19 CS, 12 for Mike. And in mid, Arise once again, just being bullied. Only has 6 CS. He started out looking a little bit better, but TC up to 15, so more than doubling him at just 3 or 4 minutes in. And they may need to get some relief on him. They may need to dedicate some resources to trying to pressure TC. They don't want to find themselves in the same situation they were last time, where Arise was just very late to a blink, and TC was farming big items very quickly.
I think you were very correct, though, in talking about how once Mike hits 6, he can kind of just gank easily. Like, the supports up top are going to be in a very vulnerable position. They're going to be very low level and very easy to gank. Like, you get a hook on any of them. No, they can't get away. They have no ways to escape the cogs. So I think you're right about that. Once Mike hits 6, and since he's doing not too badly up in this bottom lane against these, actually putting some damage into Pycat. Pycat has, he has a 10 stick charge, though, so he should be fine.
Yep, Mike taking a little bit of extra damage. We'll go ahead and salve himself up. Level 5.5, and we'll see how quickly he wants to get active. I mean, this could be a situation where he just values extra levels a little bit more early on. He has max rocket flare, 1 point into cogs, 1 into battery assault, so looking for a little bit more burst. And I wonder about that, actually. I mean, if you're talking about going ganking against heroes like Venge, like the Witch Doctor, like the Jakiro even, that are easier to take care of. I understand you want to... It's a little easier to CS. You can harass other lanes with it, but battery assault early on, putting 2 or 3 points into it before 6, that's actually an unbelievable amount of damage you can output. And if you max it very quickly, it's almost a guaranteed kill every time you catch a support with a hook regardless. Oh, that's a very nice cast. It actually got Brax and not Whitebeard. Whitebeard's dead anyway. 1 auto attack, and Brax hit with the magic missile to follow. He'll take a little bit of harassment, but another kill for this top lane, and Team Tinker got to be happy with the way this is going. Look at this mess of creeps as they actually manage to, and Weaver actually gets a solo kill onto Mike this time. So Mike, who looked good in that lane, gives one up, and that's not good.
Very close. Pycat is able to still get out of there. Mike might even if Pycat stays for the next wave, he might even just TP bottom. Actually, Pycat's going to get this bottom rune. Nope, this is actually going to get covered by TC. Very, very good heads up. Because if that was like a regen or something, that's massive. So Pycat's just going to have to TP home, I think. Yep, he is. And Mike TP's bottom, which is good for Team Tinker, because now that means freed up space for top. They know that he's not going to gank in that lane, and they can play the same way that they've been playing the previous 6 minutes.
Yep. Haste rune spotted, and will be given to Arise for his bottle. Actually gonna give Sing a little nip before he bottles it up. But at 6.5 minutes in, taking a look at the overall gold efficiency, we can see, even though mid is definitely going TC's way, 3 extra kills and a little bit more efficiency in other lanes equals a 1,200-ish gold lead for Team Tinker. And it looks like they are going to smoke and make their way up towards top now. Up at top, speaking of, EGM by himself got caught with a stomp, gets off an ice path that got 2. And don't know that it'll be enough. Oh, it is. Stick charges. Now the cask is there. Brax got caught. Brax isn't 6, by the way. Whitebeard's dead for sure. Even the Satyr getting in on the mix. Tried to deny himself running towards that camp. But The ice path misses again. It was a really nice play from EGM. Good pressure, or a good decision under pressure. Through the ice path, got them both, bought just enough time for the heal from Bulba to get there and make it 4-0.
The stack is so huge under them. It's like a 4 stack. I don't even know if it was intentionally stacked every single time. I think they were just constantly trying to pull it to the side and just happened to stack every time.
Yep.
So now they got this stack to work with. And isn't it? Oh my god, this is so much gold for them.
Yep.
Lich's is going to come over here and maybe snipe out 1 or 2 or at least some experience. But that's a very good surge of gold there for EGM.
And here comes the hook. Mike TP'd in, got EGM with it. Has no mana, and he's dead. Finally, we see NYX make their way onto the board after coming over to grab some of the big creeps from that camp. And that's what we were talking about. That's what they got to get out of Mike. This Clockwork pick has to do more than just try to account for the Weaver. They have to get work done. Manages the cog in a rise, throws the orb, and not going to jaunt to it. Instead, just staying around back. Does have his haste root he was using there. And he will go ahead and head elsewhere. So this top tier 1, honestly, is in better shape than I would have thought it would have been. We saw Tinker really applying a lot of pressure there, but they didn't get too many liquid fire blasts onto the tower. And I feel like they could have had it a bit lower than it is right now. 42 CS is number 1 on the board for TC. And he's got his treads in his bottle, so looking good there. Pycat is at 40 right behind him. Has got Aquila with a bottle as well. We'll see what his next item's going to be. After treads anyways, he just picks that up. The Brew needs 6. He should be 6 by now. Yeah, hell, he's almost level 7. Blink, gonna be huge for Brax.
Yep. And a ward behind the tower. Wonder if this is spotted out because Sing Sing's right on top of an enemy ward right now as we speak. He's still only level 3 though. He's about to hit ding level 4, but that's still a very low level Vengeful Spirit. And EGM though, despite him dying there, as I mentioned, did get those stacks. And he's actually very, very close to his Yules. He's going to have that in just about 500 gold or so.
Keeping an eye on Brax. Looks like they want to do something with him, but it's so tough. You know, knowing he's level 6, you can see the liquid fire is wearing him down consistently. But TPs will be very much on point. And there you go, EGM. Tossing the liquid fire onto the tower now. Just look how quickly it melts the tower. Like, I feel like if they had made that a bit more of a priority, they could have this near dead by now. Up at top, we do see 3 have joined up from Tinker and 2 more. Whitebeard and Fluff making their way over from Snaw, so it could be another engagement. Brax still stands his blink, still split. Quite a good ability. Yep, wow. That's aggressive. And they're just going to try to clear out. Yules, well, not Yules, but the Storm aspect catches Bulba. Bulba going to turn and try to buy some time. Hook actually does connect from Mike. Manages to grab Sing Sing. There's the Macro Pyre. Mike should end up dead here. There's a good Chain Frost, though. And Sing still trying to run for it. Bulba has to split off. That'll get 1 more bounce on the EGM and stop there. So they get Mike and don't lose anyone, surprisingly. And Brax is split now on cooldown. They may think about re-engaging. Not enough health, really.
They didn't even get Bulba?
Nope.
Wow, they initiated onto him with the split, totally. That's very bad. I mean, I guess he's pretty tanky, though. He has a point booster and level 2 heal, so big win there for Team Tinker.
Pycat was pressuring the bottom tier 1, by the way. That was just kind of sloppy from Brax. He really jumped the gun a little. And I understand you can't wait forever. And you want to try to catch him whenever they're as far forward as possible. But he was hiding out basically like right here. They come up, they get eyes, and he just splits and they turn. So it was going to be a pursuit anyway. The cask saved Bulba in a lot of ways, bouncing him, getting the bounces he need. And just not a lot of focus firing either. And now this tier 1 top should end up dead. They don't have Glyph. They already used it. And again, just look how quickly this thing melts.
Yeah, and also something that you mentioned too is that the Clockwork just hitting level 8 as well. He only has 3 points in the battery assault, so
yep.
The initiation and damage from him in particular isn't as high as it was if he had 4 points in battery assault, like, 4 minutes ago.
Yep.
So, and actually, if you look at the tooltip, it does 1,200 damage at level 4 altogether.
Yep. Nuts. It's really underestimated. I remember talking to Bulba about Clockwork extensively. He's just a legendary Clockwork player. Hang on, speaking of, Mike gonna get Yules as EGM had just finished it, trying to find his way out, but the battery assault doing the damage it needs to do. There's the waveform from TC, and he's gonna come in and help clean up the kill along with the clock. So nice play that time. Sing Sing tried to help out with the magic missile. Stomp misses him just barely, so he does make it to the high ground. And he's even gonna try to get a stack on. He's actually gonna succeed at doing so. So, despite being pursued, takes time to make sure his carry's got something to farm. Speaking of farm, Pycat up to about 2K. What do you think for him? Lincoln's, BKB?
Lincoln's doesn't really do anything this game at all, so I'd be kind of sad to see that come out from him. I don't think it's going to be effective. BKB is very good against specifically the Brew and the Clockwork. So, oh, action in mid. Here comes the Yule's actually on a Morphling.
No Ice Path. It was on cooldown, and this might have been a different fight if it hadn't been. Bulba's way up forward. There it is. Now off cooldown. TC is morphing strength, though. And eats a... Oh, they're going to catch him. Good coil that time from Arise, and they get Whitebeard behind it, and Fluff's not out of trouble either. That's going to be a double kill for Pycat. Splits there from Brax, but Bulba still continuing to hold his own and just heal through it. And here comes Mike back in, swooping in, got a big cog down. Nice Ice Path from EGM, though. Mike's going to end up dead at the back of this. Really well-managed fight by Tinker. They do end up losing Bulba, but that's on the way to a Pycat triple kill, who now suddenly has jumped himself to 3,200 gold. And they're just really punishing Brax. Brax on the Brew is not getting the work done he needs with his splits. Arise getting in the way now as EGM will be able to scurry to safety. Pycat continuing to play very aggressive. Needs to be a little careful here. There's an Ice Path that catches Brax. Sing Sing, no mana for a Magic Missile. And just look at this. Just continuing to peck away at him right outside of it. Sing Sing goes right behind the tower. There's the stomp. Doesn't catch anything or anyone. TC back up, and now Sing Sing may have overstepped himself a bit. Yeah. Odd place for him to be. Two-man Ice Path is there, but no follow. There's a cast. That's going to get at least a couple of bounces. TC. Wow, I mean, even Bulba's playing way far forward. Here comes Brax. He actually had the clap on cooldown, so he missed it right off the bat. Bulba continues to pull back. Arise bouncing around throughout the fight, just trying to serve as a distraction and run interference. And the sentries going down on both sides. So odd sequence that time. I actually really loved the way Tinker played that out, managed the fight, and kept everyone alive for the most part. But then a couple of weird decisions from Sing Sing and Bulba to just play under the enemy tier 1 while everyone's responding, and they end up giving a little bit of it back.
Yeah, Mike has a completed Blade Mail now, too. Looking for still some action as they're still posting up here in the mid lane. Really want this tower. They can dwindle it down, as you mentioned, with Liquid Fire. Stop coming off. It's going to be off the mark. Pycat wants none of this, though, as he's like, I've been here for too long. You're fighting for way too long. I just want to farm. And he bought something. It's actually going to be a Deso. Okay. So we have our question answered with a Deso pickup here for him, which I think is fine. I think MKB also would have been great this game against Panda, which he still might get. I think BKB is fantastic, but you don't want to buy it early on for the reason I stated before. You just don't want to dwindle through those charges because you cannot rebuy it.
Mike getting into position for a hook, and there it is. Got EGM, Brax got caught in the middle of it, and the Death Ward was there, but an Earth Splitter's on the point. And now Sing Sing gonna die to a Chain Frost. Bulba not in much better shape, being pursued and knocked down by Mike behind his own tier 1, and they just hung way too long there in mid. Like, that was just really good patience from NYX. And again, you know, suspect decision making. Like, they had no business continuing to play right here whenever they know you have initiation potential from the Brew. Brew even had split, didn't have to use it. You had the Clockwork hook to worry about, and yeah, they punished them well. 7-9, NYX keeping it close, and that's actually a pretty significant win for them. They cut the gold and the experience lead, come down more than half with that sequence, and in fact, they took the lead in experience.
Nice play there by Pycat, actually. He was being really cheeky about getting the back door onto the mid tower. And despite already using the time-lapse and under some aggression with both Cogs and a stomp from ET, still able to actually get the kill. Putting some aggression onto Brax, trying to at the very least force out an ultimate from him. If he gets enough attacks in here that don't miss, maybe he can. But not enough. Yeah, not enough, so. Early Deso pickup, very, very effective from Pycat, though. It's going to do a lot of damage.
A lot of minus armor, especially when you factor in Wave of Terror. Like, they're going to be able to, and, you know, that actually makes a ton of sense, because what were we talking about? Hang on, Arise engaged in mid, engaging onto, I should say, TC. But we were talking about how tanky their lineup is compared to Team Tinkers, and how, you know, and we've seen it play out, you know, when the hooks and cogs are on point from Mike, it's deaths every time. They do have some survivability, but now, not the tankiest feel for NYX anymore, because of the minus armor from Wave of Terror, because of the Deso and so on. And they just got to keep Pycat near the top. However, on top is the Morphling, and he's going for the early BKB. So he's going first item BKB after Treads Aquila.
Yeah, I think this is definitely the right decision. So, good for him. EGM probably wants a... Oh, no, he's not going to go for Blink. He's going to go for the Force Staff, which is actually very good against Clockwork. Just being able to get yourself and allies outside of the Clockwork cogs, which is good.
Yep.
Mike, despite having a relatively good time, he's still level low, or he's still a low level. So, he'd like to get more levels in himself. It's level 10 now. Venge is up to level 7. You really want the level 2 swap. He's going to go for a Medallion too, so their Roshan potential is very, very high. Negative armor from him. He's maxing the Wave of Terror. And secondary maxing Vengeance, so only 1 point into the Magic Missile. I usually like to still see points put in a Magic Missile after Wave of Terror. I do like Wave of Terror max, but I think secondary Magic Missile is usually what I think best, but we'll see.
Pycat continuing to pressure bottom. Brax can do nothing but watch from a distance. Still has split if he needs it. And we'll see if Pycat wants to grab that BKB next. Seems like it would make some sense. We're at 18 minutes in. And a very close game. And slightly going back in favor of Team Tinker. So, I mean, just the way that the graphs have been trending thus far. If NYX is feeling it the way that we're seeing it, they should know that they are really under the gun to make fights happen. In terms of pure gold efficiency, that's going to be Tinker's advantage, at least for the foreseeable future. So they're probably going to look to get the mic involved again and get something working. They need to use Brax's split more often as well. And I understand they just want to farm TC and make sure he's in good shape regarding his BKB development, but I think Tinker is actually going to benefit a lot more from that, just giving Pycat all this time to do his own thing in mid. Fight's going to break out, and Mike's going to end up dead. There's a split, but they're going to be able to get Sing Sing and should be able to get a Rise as well. EGM cleaned up from behind, and Arise still trying to make a run for it. Has Blink, will use it, and Pycat's there. Arise still trying to kite this out, manages to jaunt, uses his wand charges. Pycat gets a kill behind the fight, and now going to town on TC. Brax is reassembled. There's a time lapse, and looks like Pycat is going to want to get out of dodge. Ends up being a 2-for-2 trade, and somehow Arise managed to make it back to safety. So good interference there from Pycat, buying his buddy some time.
Yeah, they didn't have Bulba there as well for that fight, who I think has enough for his full Ags. I want to check the courier, see if he has 2 components for it. Yeah, he does. Yep. So that's a pre-20-minute Ags here for the Witch Doctor, which is really, really good. He's got to be careful about his positioning, though, because there's a lot of ways to screw that up. The clock is the number 1, and I could just go on, but you can just see that the list is there.
Brax silenced, and can they kill him quickly enough? He splits on cooldown. Here comes Mike, actually hooks onto Brax, gets the cogs down, and good play from him. They make it a Rise. There's an Ice Path, barely misses, trying to anticipate Brax's blink spot, but Mike there to bail his buddy out. And EGM's going to end up dead if he over pursues this. Ice Path uphill, and Whitebeard's right there. Another set of cogs go down. And he's going to Force Staff all the way up. Very aggressive from him. Did have help on the way, though, in Pycat and Sing Sing, but going uphill into the dark like that, always a risky proposition. So they don't get Brax and they lose their puck. Well played by NYX, and especially well played by Mike on this clock, who came in and basically just ran nothing but search and rescue.
Yeah, the clock pick, it's the last pick here for NYX, and I think it's doing a lot of work. Brax coming in, gets the auto attack on top of the clap onto Weaver. With the help of the Sentry Ward, Sing Sing is going to fall too, I think. And he tries to swap himself away, be cheeky, but no. Very nice initiation from Brax.
Every time it looks like Tinker's beginning to get things together a little bit, they end up giving up a lot. And NYX, to their credit, is capitalizing. Any kind of poor decision, any kind of bad positioning. And we're down to basically an even game, man. In fact, the experience is beginning to heavily favor NYX Assassins. And I don't feel any sense of momentum from Team Tinker, even though it seemed like they should have been right on point with it. There's an Ice Path. Here comes the real Brax. Gets the clap. EGM caught with the stomp as well. Arise, though, there with the silence. There's a beautiful Death Ward, but Adaptive Strike knocks Bulba out of the channel. Split does go off from Brax. They didn't lose anyone, though they lost a lot of health. And Bulba's coming down to a harsh LZ. Mike drops the cogs just to make sure no one could re-engage and try to buy him time. That's a double kill for TC's Morphling. And the last 120 seconds or so have been pure disaster for Team Tinker, as what lead they had built has just vanished in front of their eyes. And NYX has got to be high-fiving on the way back to the fountain now. I mean, this has been a wonderful sequence for them. And the Vlad's up on Brax. Mike looking quite good. Has a 4-staff on the way, not far from it. Even Whitebeard beginning to feel a little bit more relevant. But more importantly, TC, with his BKB done, has picked up an ulti orb. We'll see if he wants to go ultra defensive with the Lincolns, though I agree with you. I don't know that it is worth the investment. But that, a Scotty, a Manta, whatever, he's looking great.
Yeah, and this is the problem too, is that Team Tinker is essentially running a one-core lineup, and it's the Weaver. So any kill onto him is just so much larger than it would be in an otherwise normal game. Brax is in trouble here, though.
And they're going to get him this time. Here comes Mike in to go. Again, though, Sing Sing's dead. The Cask is buying a fair amount of time, but Adaptive Strike from TC secures another kill. And good to trade for Brax, but now Pycat laying in the fluff. There's a nice path. Got TC. Let's see if they can follow this up. Arise is there. Has Coil if he wants to spend it. BKB has been used. Heard an Earth Splitter. Whitebeard is trying to buy time. Coil will be used on the Elder Titan of all heroes as they just give up trying to pursue TC. Ends up being a 3-for-1 as they lost Sing Sing. But both teams throwing haymakers at this point. And that was just about down to even. And now beginning to slightly tilt back in favor of T-Ting. If they can take this tower, and they should be able to take it very quickly. I mean, minus armor plus liquid fire. Yeah, this is not going to last long. And Roshan's going to be an option for them sometime soon now, too. You've got tier 2s in mid and bottom both down. And if they get another pick, I don't know they'll go now. Because Split's up, so they don't want to. Oh, no, they actually believe they can do it quickly enough. Look at this.
Well, they do have Venge in the negative armor from the Deso too, which is really, really nice. And we'll see if NYX just rushes there. I think they'll get there in time, actually. Yeah, and they are. Yeah, it's not going to be in time, so they can actually. The scary thing is Team Tinker kind of has to stay around, otherwise the Roche is going to get taken.
Yep.
Oh my
wow.
God.
Arise. Sent to bed, and there was a hook. Did he just hook in the back of somebody? I didn't hear it. Oh, there it is.
Pycat.
Okay. Thought he was coming from the opposite angle. But, yeah, they're going to take this Roshan. This is what I was talking about. I'm surprised they even tried this. Everyone was coming back up. NYX was in a much better position to fight, as they were all coming back with full health. And just another bad decision from Team Tinker. And they are in real danger of losing control of this match, because Pycat, as farmed as he is not keeping pace with the Morphling the way he wants to. If you look at the net worth, you can see they're just about even. And Pycat's actually a little bit ahead. But so far as Morphling's relevance and their ability to chain their ability to put the team fight together, it is going to be monstrous. And we can see, yeah, EGM's just dead. Never had a chance. And anytime TC gets his eyes on someone, he's just killing them, blowing them off the map.
God, it's going to be even easier when Mike gets his 4-staff too.
Yep.
Weaver coming around from the backside, but still not able to find anything. Brax jumps in, has a split ready to go. If he wants it, which he probably should pop.
Is trying to lay into TC, gets the coil off. TC trying to morph. There's the hook. And now Pycat will time lapse. TC does lose his Aegis. In the meantime, there's a death ward out from Bulba. Mike's being lit up with it. They do manage to get the Lich as well. Split was there from Brax, but Pycat continuing to chase out Whitebeard. Stomp does manage to catch him. And can they finish him off? That Lincoln's was just completed. And that might, ooh, so close to killing him. They know where he is, and they know he's low. And Arise comes back in. Brax could end up dead at the back of this. Very odd fight as it's continued to just string out. As it stands, though, I would call it a win for Tinker. Even though they did lose, well, they also lost the Aegis on the side of NYX, so definitely a win for Tinker. 16-18. And who knows, man? I thought that was a point where we were just going to see NYX take control of the game. And instead, Pycat engages at the right time and manages to punish them for it.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of weird play from TC, actually. He just stood there and didn't morph strength. And he didn't pop his BKB and just let the Aegis go. Like, maybe he was thinking, I want to do as much damage with my agility morph as possible before I use my second life, but I think that was kind of a waste, and he didn't really do that much, so... Wondering why he didn't. Maybe he was out of mana? I find that hard to believe, though.
Yeah.
So kind of an interesting play. At the very least, use your PKB, but maybe he just felt the fight was done. But if that was the case, why wouldn't he morph strength? I don't know. Kind of a weird play from TC, actually.
Brax's split, once again, not super effective either. And they're not getting near the mileage they need to out of it. TT going to pressure, top tier 1. And looks like Mike wants a fight. He's going to get eyes on Sing Sing. Oh, he's just going to hook right in the lane. EGM once again out front. Mike did not cogs, and they actually got silenced before he could. There's an Earth Splitter. Brax is going to be on Sing Sing, and Sing Sing swaps to buy some time, but that's all he buys, other than a fresh casket. As they do, up there's a Chain Frost on the EGM. Does a little bit of damage, no bounce. Ice Path catches Fluff as well. But Brax and TC there to help clean up, and Arise better hustle. He is low health, and yeah. And this is just like, again, it's Haymaker for Haymaker. Team Tinker lands a solid punch, and they rush to try to follow it up. They get hit in the mouth. NYX does the same thing, rinse and repeat. They are going to get a tier 1 from this, though.
Top tower has fallen.
God, the damage they take with this aura on is just ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
The ET aura, it's only level 2 as well. That's just crazy. Every single time I see the aura on top of them, and I could even just the waveform coming in from Morphling, it's just the damage output's insane.
Okay, they want to pressure the tier 2 now, but just to build on that, you know, ET is actually considered one of the better counters to Morphling. Hold that thought. Mike goes in, gets 2-man. Sing Sing was caught inside. Outside, though, Arise comes back in, gets a silence off on the Brax. Brax has his ulti, but doesn't have the mana. Mike's going to end up dead. And now, finally, has enough mana. Decides to split. EGM caught with the rock. And TC's right there as well. They need to focus fire. TC caught with an Ice Path. EGM still somehow up and fighting. TC does manage to replicate away. And now, they're just going to chase down Brax. Using the Elder Titan, Ancestral Spirit. Nice Ice Path. But Brax does reassemble, and the stomp only delays the inevitable as they get Venge, but give up 2 again. And I'm telling you, man, Brax has got to get it together. His splits are just so completely unimpressive.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like he's getting too much done with them. He also really needs a BKB. He's got another 3,300 under his belt, which is nice, but yeah, getting like that was a free kill onto the Venge. Split or not, so you'd expect him to get the split and be more effective onto a hero like, say, Witch Doctor, or even the Jakiro or something like that. But I was looking over what Morphling was doing. I seen ET ulti coming out, Fluff and stuff taking a lot of damage from Arise. Actually, might even fall here.
Yep. Hook. Mike once again there to help his buddy out. Force staffs him to safety. Might end up giving his body in return though. Force staff deployed. There's a swap, and unfortunately, that's not the right call for Mike to make. As heroic and as fun as it was to watch, giving up your clockwork instead of your lich, usually not something you want to do.
He didn't need to force staff him. He already saved him with the ultimate. So the puck was going to be stunned, and Lich could have just walked away, and he could have used his force for himself. I think a good idea, but a little bit of a misplay there.
Tinker once again pressing on this tier 2 top. And yeah, I mean, it's an EKG in terms of the graphs. Very much an even game. They are going to be able to melt this tower quickly, so if they want to try to contest it, they have to go now. Brax has split, goes in, gets the clap. Pycat has his Lincoln's popped. Very nice Ice Path, got TC as well as Brax behind it. Good Echo Stomp, though. Stunned a couple. Jakiro tossed in the air. TC up doing what damage he can. They're trying to focus down Bulba. Bulba gets off the Death Ward. TC very low health. Another good Ice Path thrown. Caught Fluff and changed the path of Brax as he tried to pursue him out. Magic Missile, and now the Yules tosses him up. And, yep, there's a waveform through. Mike, once again, on point with his hooks and his cogs. They got the Weaver, most importantly, as Pycat dropped. And they make it a rise. They should have. A little bit of a misplay there from Whitebeard. Really should have had him there. Either way, they give 2 right on back. And it's basically the last 5 minutes of this game have just been both teams walking up and down this top lane and killing each other. That's all we've seen.
Yeah, if they can coordinate a little bit better with just kills on Weaver. Like, if, for instance, if Mike can find the Weaver and Weaver hasn't walked, like, around far enough from one position, then, like I said, the cogs will keep him in there long enough, even through the time lapse, to where the time lapse will just pop him right back in the cogs. And if, like I'm saying this because if Weaver dies, I don't think that Team Tinker can really fight that much. He is like the majority of their damage, and majority of their sustainability in fights.
One thing we've seen outside of a couple of isolated incidents is I feel like NYX has actually really dealt well with Bulba. We've seen him hit a couple of death wards here and there that did some decent damage, and he's had that scepter up forever. I mean, he's working on a BKB now, and BKB will be huge for them. That's just such an immense source of extra damage. But for the most part, I feel like they've really reacted quickly when the death ward has gone down. We've seen TC holding on to Adaptive Strike to make sure they use it to knock him out of it. And for the most part, he hasn't been as effective as it looked like he was going to be based on how much farm he had early. Mike, outside of a couple of suspect decisions, but even then, just slight miscalculations as opposed to flat-out bad decisions. He's played really well. And we said coming in, they needed a lot out of their clockwork, and they've definitely got it. Mike's Game 2 and Game 3 performance has been legit.
Yeah, and I also think the hero that he's on is a little bit stronger in this situation. Like, I think Clock was very necessary this game. Seeing the lineup that they had against the last pick Weaver, and they had one more pick against that, I think Clockwork is a perfect counter pick to that. I really think it's been effective. And the last time we saw him play the Tide, which was the first pick, but a much more effective pick as well than the Bat Rider in the first game. So has had a little bit better opportunities in Game 2 and 3 for sure.
Both teams have settled down a little bit. Roshan likely to be our next point of contention. We'll be back up very shortly. Taking a look at TC, still sits atop the net worth. It's added a Yasha. Had that had a hiccup. Had that Scotty up for a while now. Taking a look at the KD and how things have fared. 9-2 for Pycats, legit. Brax, this surprises me. I'm not going to lie. Have not felt like he's been that effective, but he's tallied 8 kills to only 3 deaths. So even though his ults maybe left something to be desired, he has nonetheless had an impact. 7-1 on TC's Morphling, so he's in great shape. Then it's a grab bag after that. But TC is getting very large. And the build that we're seeing out of Pycat going with the Lincolns, wonder if he'll go BKB next or if there's going to be something else he wants to pick up. He's actually going to work on TC, BKBs, waveforms, and TPs. And we can see why. Did not want to take a chance with that much damage output. Up at top, we see EGM spotted by Brax. Yules buys a little bit of time. There's a nice path to follow. Brax tried to get out of it. Hook off the mark from Mike. One of the few he's missed this game, so a little bit of a missed opportunity that time.
That happened right after the 4-stat from EGM. So quick and so close. But I think for Weaver, he definitely needs an MKB. And I would say the majority of Brax's kills have actually just been clap and attack. Like with the ET aura on them, it's done so much damage. So clap attack, clap crit, been very effective. But yeah, Weaver, it looks like he is going to go for an MKB, I think. Let me just double check. Yeah, the 2 javelins on the career. Especially as you saw the Morph just TP out right in front of you with the BKB. If you're able to proc him with an MKB and just stop the TP, that's going to be very good. Obviously, against Brewmaster in general, MKB is very necessary. So I like that pickup. I don't agree, though, with Brax getting the AC. I think he needs BKB. He has the full AC, which is nice, but I don't know. I think if he gets caught, and there are definitely ways to get him caught with the puck coil, the only thing that can save him is a very nice clockwork hook. But if it's not perfect, I think that there's a potential for him to die without getting his ulti off, but we'll see. If he's able to get his ulti off, it's not a big deal. It's way better, but BKB just adds that kind of lifeline, that insurance policy that you can always get your ulti off.
It seems like he hasn't had that much trouble with it, though. Only 3 deaths. I mean, compare that to Mike, who has been much more razzle-dazzle in his impact on the game, but has nonetheless died 7 times in comparison to his 4 kills. I mean, it's, KD certainly not the primary metric to measure someone's performance. But thus far, it doesn't look like Brax really has felt the need to get a BKB or something like that. Roshan, up and spotted. Was spotted by a rocket shot a while ago. And this is going to be free. This is dying very quickly. And even if they reacted right this second and ran there, they would get there too late. So this is going to be another Aegis for TC. We'll see if he's a little bit more guarded with this one. And if he's willing to hang on to it a little bit longer instead of giving it away. In mid engagement, as we saw Mike catching Sing Sing. And there's going to be a swap and a rise. That's actually a really nice play. Swapped through his orb and jaunted as soon as he was swapped. So, well played.
Completed MKB here up for Weaver, so hitting like a truck right now. Lincoln's popped by, I'm assuming, the Yules. Yeah, the Yules up from Whitebeard. So they do have ways of dealing with that. And just the sheer auto attack damage from Morphling too with the ET aura on is going to really make that Lincoln's not feel too effective. But it's still somewhat good here this game. It's not the best, but it's still okay.
Well, let's see. I would think right now NYX should be looking to break their back. Pycat's still a big question mark, and he is hitting very hard, as you mentioned. MKB Deso is legit, and that's before you factor in the other sources of negative armor they're going to have. But TC isn't exactly punching above his weight here. Manta, Scotting, And 2,800 gold to go with it. And just look at him fire away just on creeps. In mid, Brax and Pycat going toe-to-toe. And actually, they got an Echo Stomp onto him. But nobody around to really respond, so he'll be able to make it away.
There's a nice stack here on the Ancients. I wonder if they spot this out and do this. Will get spotted out if they try, though, because of the ward here from the Radiant side. Here comes Mike, though, looking for a pickoff.
TC was engaging, just heard the hook. Didn't hear where it went. And looks like he shoot it into somebody's back?
Yeah, onto the Lich.
Incoming!
Well, Snaw trying to pick a fight down mid. Macropyre laid out defensively. TC, though, just doing work with his right click and not worrying too much about damage taken. Tier 1's going to end up dropping. They don't even expend the glyph. There's an Echo Stomp just to secure themselves. Elsewhere, we can see at bottom, Pycat is trying to split push. Dagon's actually picked up now onto Whitebeard. So just one more answer for the Weaver. Grab a Dagon, and all you want to do is burst him.
Yeah, it's also another Linken's Canceller. So he can maybe Dagon, and then... actually, it's pretty good, because he can Dagon, cancel the Linkens, then Yules him, and then combo up the Stomp to put himself in a position to where NYX can capitalize on it. So if that's his thinking, I actually don't think it's too bad. But at the same time, if that's his thinking, I think Force Staff would have been a little bit better to not only cancel the Linkens, but to also just keep yourself and other teammates out of harm's way. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it pans out here. It's a lot of gold actually coming out from Whitebeard too.
Well, what we've been seeing for the most part is wow, Arise came in, ate a bit of damage. He got the Waning Rift off, but yeah, he ate half a life bar's worth of damage in 2 seconds. But what it seems like they've been doing is basically leaving it to Brax to get onto him and pop the Linkens with Drunken Haze. That's mostly what I've seen happen. And in that regard, I like the Dagon more because, I mean, he's gone glass cannon, he being Pycat. He has built a Linkens, and that's the extent of his survivability, and, you know, outside of Treads being switched to Strength. So if you can just burst him, he's going to be down. I mean, like, that's what they really needed here as opposed to what TC offers. Without an E-Blade, he's much more sustain-oriented. We actually see Yules aplenty on both sides. Brax came in, got the clap. There's a magic missile. They are sieging the tier 3. Pycat is yet to come back, and let's see how much they want to commit to this. Brax is still sitting back, hanging on to his ulti. Good patience from him there. They got to decide soon. They either have to fully commit or they have to send someone home because Pycat is pecking away at this tower in a big way. And yeah, they're going to have to pull all the way back. Here comes one, and Pycat is going to... He may get this tier 3. In fact, he's going to. Misstep and misplay there. They need to get Pycat in response. And they spawn him out. He's got time lapse. There's the Echo Stomp. They're waiting. And yeah, there's the time lapse and immediately Dagons to break the Linkens. And he's going to run back into the base, knowing there's no tower here. He does have a TP. And he does manage to make it back. Are you serious? Arise in the meantime ends up dead. And now TC could be in trouble. Mike's there to help bail him out, though. EGM trying to do what he can, but the Battery Assault won't let him finish a cast animation. So that's a monster kill for TC. And Sing Sing trying to make a run for it. There was a caster. Now TC will replicate. He's going to go ahead and waveform up to the high ground. Gets eyes on Sing Sing. Got him with an adaptive strike. Double kill, godlike. And that was absurd, by the way. Pycat managing to make it away up at top. And now TC's going to end up dead. Pycat has Shikuchi. Can he get on him? Yeah, he loses his Aegis. So he just played way too aggressive. He secured the kill, and all he had to do was pull back. I guess he didn't have that much time left on it, so not that huge of a loss. But nonetheless, more madness as both of these teams kind of all over the grid.
God, the debuff of the Vengeance Aura is actually huge. Look at that on Morphling. It shows negative 27 right now, but it's actually more than that. Yeah, negative 63. So that's a pretty good chunk of damage that he's losing out when he has it on him. But Morphling now has a full E-Blade picked up. That was actually a really nice play by Mike. I don't know if you saw with the Replicate. He actually forced the Morphling Replicate forward towards the Vengeful Spirit so that he could replicate and just close the gap a little bit more.
Yeah.
So it's a nice play there. Mike actually gets a 2-man hook.
Follow-up is there. Brax coming in to help clean house. Bulba. That's a wishful thinking Death Ward if ever there was one. And that's a godlike double kill. Beyond godlike, as a matter of fact, for TC. As he's now at 11-1. Aegis or not, and I was just saying, you know, he didn't have the E-Blade. so he was more sustain-oriented, but now Pycat has to be very careful. He's up against an immense amount of burst between the Dagon, Whitebeard, and TC with the E-Blade. Brax doesn't have his ulti, used it, still 70 seconds on. Just look at that. Bursted EGM for half his health bar there. Brax may end up dead here, so yep, he will. Coil expended wisely, and that should be enough to force TC to replicate away, and he does. 22 to 27, though. Tier 3 ends up being denied, so 2 Tier 3s are down, but both teams still with their racks remaining standing.
And I still think Brew really needs a BKB. Like, for the reason that if you blink in and just clap, you have to immediately use the splitter, otherwise you just die, and you can't threaten them with anything else. But if you have BKB, you blink in, you clap, he does a lot of damage with that ET aura on. And it gives him 10 seconds, if he wants it, to make them move around, to make them cast spells that don't do anything, just kind of waste their time and make them have their positioning kind of hindered a little bit. So I'm wondering if he gets that, or if maybe he goes for just like pure aura, like a Shiva's or something like that. Looking at their team, they don't have one yet, so that might be the next item for him, but I still think BKB is good. Sheepstick picked up for EGM, so that's a really good lockdown tool for both the Morphling and the Panda.
Yep. Arise has one as well. And those two being able to hex and to start the follow-up. I mean, the Weaver is going to be susceptible. He's got 5,300 gold, and we'll see if he wants to grab just a flat BKB next or if he's got something else in mind. But they need those two heroes, the Puck, played by Arise, and EGM Shakiro, to be on point with the hexes. Because if they can hex and kill off the Brew or their Morphling, the combat potential of NYX falls off immensely. Mike gets eyes on Sing Sing, and he has just been a terror for this poor Venge. And Sing does manage to make it out there using the Force Staff. Mike has a Ghost Scepter, and he's going to Force Staff himself to safety as well. And now there's going to be a swap as Pycat's there to help follow it up. In the meantime, EGM died out in the river. And we're actually going to see Arise cleaned up as well. As that Dagon 2, Whitebeard going for the upgraded model. Helps secure yet another double kill for TC. TC sitting at 13, 1, and 7. His net worth finally beginning to open up a bit of a gap between he and Pycat. Not the biggest, but still a couple of K. And yeah, that is a flat-out BKB pickup from Pycat.
Yeah, I like that decision, but I don't know. It seems very scary. This Morphling's almost 6-slotted with a butterfly on the way. Presumably up soon.
I think they just lose. There's no buyback. No, I'm serious. Like, there's no buyback for anyone on Tinker. And what are they going to do? Like, how do you fight without those two hexes that we were just talking about how important they are? Like, they're going to get at least 1.5 sets of racks. And they're trying to buy time, but yeah, TC, here comes Pycat. Brax still has his ulti. And there's the BKB shown off by Pycat. Look at the damage he's taking, though. He has the time lapse. He cut it as close as he could. There's going to be an Earth Splitter, and that used to be a hero. And yeah, there's going to be the split. Here comes EGM fresh up. TC still in good shape. Yules onto the Jakiro. And yeah, Brax is just going to work on the racks. Ice Path buys a little bit of time. Pycat helping to focus them down. Earth Panda comes in, cleans up the last little bit of health on the melee racks, and yep, Brax, look at this, just blows Arise to pieces. Brax ends up dead. There's a very nice death ward from Bulb, arguably the best of the game. They end up getting TC and Brax by the time all is said and done, but they gave up two. They gave up Arise and EGM once again. But more importantly, they gave up Brax. And I don't know what they do now. Like, they're just going to have to sit and play defensive and hope for major throws from NYX.
God, Pycat does hit really hard, though.
Yeah, he does.
But he also gets hit really hard when the ET, man, like, it's hard sometimes because, you know, people always talk about it's not very flashy. You don't really get to see the aura come into play like an ability like, say, Laguna Blade from Lena or something like that. But, man, when it's on, there was illusions and the ET aura on the Weaver, and she just got owned by illusions.
Yep.
Imagine if the real hero was just focusing him for a second. He would have died.
Completely agree. And now, if you're TT, you just gotta hope. Roshan is back up. Pycat's gonna take it in a hurry. And nobody from NYX is in range. So this should be a free Aegis for Pycat. Issue is, though, Aegis or not, they've got about one good fight left in them. And Sing Sing's gonna die here. Yeah, just died to an Echo Stomp from Whitebeard. That actually buys time as Pycat It's still going to work. They're not going to be able to get in. Did Fluff get in there? No, Weaver got it. He may end up giving it back really quickly, though. There's the Lincoln's popped, and Fluff's going to end up dead. Arise is there as well. Okay. Whitebeard, a little aggressive there, buddy, as he feeds Pycat a double kill. And I understand wanting to be cheeky, but that was really just unnecessary. Sending the Lich in's one thing. He has the blink, and you take a chance because it's a Lich and it's late game. But losing your Elder Titan for no reason, a little questionable.
Yeah, he does have buyback, so at the very least he can help defend with that. Morphling's up with... Does he have buyback as well? Yeah, he will have buyback after this as well. He's not going to go for the butterfly. He's going to go for presumably a Lincoln Sphere, as I don't think there's any other options for the ulti orb, unless I'm missing something. So that's good against the hexes now. Like, before it wasn't as effective, but now it actually is much more effective, so in that sense I do agree with that. I'm wondering if they need the buyback. No, they shouldn't need a buyback on the ET because they have Glyph.
Down the bottom, they're going to go for it. Ice Path is out. Pycat, BKB. This is a 9-second duration one, if I'm not mistaken. They're just going to blow EGM to pieces. He does manage to Yules and buy some time. Brax still has his ulti, hasn't expended it. Sentries are down. Pycat in a bit of trouble. Mike's right on him. And TC going to try to pursue him out. They need dust, not sentries. He's going to be able to outrun those. Another Yules used on the Mike. And Whitebeard right on top of him. Arise caught with yet another Yules. And Dagon there just for good measure. So they make a run at it. This was the tier 3 that was already missing, by the way. And they did nothing but get some damage on the range racks. Let's talk buyback. Looks like none for Puck. And once again, none for EGM. And yeah, I said this before, and I think it's still true. I think they just lose.
They just lost the racks for free, too, up top.
Yeah.
Range racks just fell to creeps.
Like, I don't know what they can do. And that's kind of what I was saying. They have one good fight left in them, and it didn't work out. There is still a tier 2 at bottom, so that should delay them sufficiently to allow some respawns, at least on EGM. Pycat does pick up a butterfly, so a little bit more of a complicated matter for TC to get damage done to him, but it's going to be megas before long, unless they really pull out a big win here.
Well, they have to be very, very aggressive now. Like, they can't afford to just let NYX wait for the other lanes to push in. Like, as soon as the puck is up, they have to go. They might even have to go without the puck, honestly. Because they need the Aegis to be used, and they need to transfer. Oh, he actually just... He puts his boots down. So no transfer Weaver. I think this is a good decision by Pycat.
All right, Brax up front. Brax eating a lot of damage. Here's that Hex coming into play. Bulba uses his BKB. That's actually very preemptive from him. And Earth Splitter was there to try to zone out a bit. Everyone back. No, they lost EGM again. I didn't even notice they had killed him again. Sing Sing. Now very low. Has to run as well. They're just going to crest high ground. Pycat's doing what he can, but he's a one-man band at this point. There's going to be the Echo Stomp. Was wound up by Whitebeard. But, yeah, the illusions alone are doing a ton of damage to this Rax. Hooks off the mark. There's going to be a Hex on the TC. Arise came in. Kind of in no man's land behind that. See Mike just looking for a target. Pycat's right-clicking as best as he can, but it's not enough. And they do manage to get Bulba behind the fight as well. TC, there's Mike with a hook. Got it this time. Sing Sing once again caught inside. It's a double kill for Fluff. Arise still doing what damage he can, but he drops in a flash. And here comes Pycat back up off the Aegis. But he can do nothing by himself. That's Megas. And that's probably your ball game.
Yeah, they don't have any ways to clear out the super creeps anyway, unless they bought a Mjolnir onto the Weaver, but nope. All the buildings are dead. This will be GG. NYX will take this 2-1. So very nice performance from, honestly, everybody in these last two games from NYX.
Surprising, and without a doubt an upset. You can make no mistake about it. This is a hell of a win from NYX Assassins. And very well earned and very well deserved. I mean, based on game 1 alone, man, this looked to just be a raffle stomp. I mean, we're talking like one of the worst games I have seen for anyone, for any team in the Western plays this year.